It is the takeover here today on the premium breakfast television show, Wake Up Nigeria. You know, Wednesday represents a wondrous, fantastic experience. Yes. It is our Wonder Woman Wednesday edition, and I gotta say, welcome.
Yes, sir. Welcome. And then looking all fly in the kitchen there. Hey, girl.
Thank you very much.
Oh, boy. Girl, you look good. I love your hair.
I know. Thank you so much. I like yours too. And those earrings, Mary.
Okay. Okay.
Let's just hope those earrings don't go missing. The way is looking at those earrings.
I'm telling you, I'm definitely going to take them away before the end of the show.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, yeah, you should, talking about Christmas, you should gift it to me, Mary.
Yeah, I will. I will. Right after the show.
You know you want to.
It's a whole lot of energy and love right here on the show, and it only gets better and better with each day. So our advice is for you to stay tuned for the next couple of hours to get the very best of family entertainment.
Of course, we don't do this alone. That's why we have to bring in so we can have the conversation with she looking all fly.
We have quite a lot of great vibes throughout the show today, and you know what, don't worry. We don't bite. We're very gentle on Wednesdays. Yes, and we always just make sure everything goes smooth and sweet just for you.
That's right. And of course, we are hell-bent on ensuring that only the very best of quality television entertainment is delivered to you for your viewing pleasure.
It's all our dreams that, you know, we wish a lot, do a lot of wishing at Christmas.
I think too many wishes, as a matter of fact.
But dreams can come true, as long as you have the courage to pursue them. So don't just wait. Just make sure those dreams keep flowing out there into the atmosphere. Yes. And, well, hey, get out there to get to work for it as well.
Yeah, you know, when someone says you can't do it, do it twice. Unless it's a bad thing.
Take pictures.
And take pictures for proof. Unless, well, if it's a bad thing, do so that we can have the police on you. Now, let's get this party started. My name is Mary Bashua Alimi.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Remember, you can use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms to be part of this amazing show. You can also watch us live from anywhere across the world through our mobile app. That's from Google Play or iOS.
That's right. And please follow us. We like our privacy, but we like you also in our business. We are at TVC Connect. That's on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Please use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Okay?
A fully packed show coming your way. We're on full throttle today. It is Wonder Woman Wednesday. And, well, hey, let's tell them what we have coming up. Of course, our relationship segment is very, very important for Wednesdays. The topic is, it's all fun and games until he puts a ring on it. Yeah, that's the topic. It's Wonder Woman Wednesday, y'all.
Yes, it is. And it's 1 week to Christmas. Okay, no, this is the week before the week before Christmas.
Before Christmas.
So amazingly, we're, you know, having our Wonder Woman Wednesday show, but also the Wonder Woman movie is premiering today.
Yes, coincidentally.
Yes.
So that might be a good movie to watch, I'm just saying. But we have to give you the weather update at this point, and then we'll have the news.
All right. Talking about gifts.
It's time for the news update right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Bothered about the situation in neighboring Katsina State, Zamfara State government has ordered the immediate closure of all schools bordering Katsina and Sokoto states. The move, according to the government, is to avert any security breach in the affected areas. It says the decision to close the schools became necessary following the recent abduction of over 300 schoolboys in Kankara, Katsina State. The government has assured parents and guardians of its commitment to protecting all schools across the state. The Kaduna State government has ordered the closure of schools across 23 local government areas of the state. According to the State Commissioner for Education, Dr. Shehu Makarfi, this follows the upsurge of the COVID-19 in the state. A government-issued statement directs all schools in the state to stay closed this Wednesday. The commissioner says the measure was taken to curb the spread of COVID-19 pandemic as a result of its second wave in the state. The Supreme Court says its attention has been drawn to a newspaper report currently circulating alleging that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Tanko Mohammed, is seriously ill and is not attending public functions for the same reason. A statement signed by Dr. Festus Akonde, Director for Press and Information, Supreme Court of Nigeria, says there's no iota of truth in the claim being peddled by the publication, as there hasn't been any indication made public or otherwise that has shown any anxiety over CJN's health. It adds, and I quote, "We are still at a loss as to where the reporter got that malicious information from, as the CJN has been very active and even presided over the swearing in of the newly appointed justices of the Supreme Court a few weeks back," end quote. The Supreme Court maintains that the Chief Justice being unavoidably absent at a function is not enough to draw a conclusion that there is anxiety over his health. 3 Nigerian entertainers arrested in Uganda for allegedly flouting COVID-19 guidelines shortly after their performance at a concert in Kampala have now arrived at the Nigerian mission after the charges against them were dropped. Stanley Didia, also known as Omale, Temilade Okweni, also known as Thames, and her manager Muiwa Awuni were arrested and detained in Uganda on Saturday. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, had assured Nigerian artists especially, that they would be home soon. She said the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Nigerian mission in Uganda, along with their Ugandan counterparts, had achieved a diplomatic resolution over the matter. Mrs. Erewa was optimistic that the federal government's speedy intervention will aid to reunite them with their families and fans soonest. The arrest of the Nigerian musicians in Uganda had triggered public outrage among Nigerians on social media. They say the action by Ugandan authorities was targeted at embarrassing Nigeria, since the concert was duly publicized and the artists granted permission to come into the country for the concert. And that's all we have time for on the news update for this hour. It's time for sports. Welcome back. It's about time for us to take a quick look at the headlines in the dailies for this morning. I'm going to be starting with the New Telegraph at this point, and the main headline says, lamentation in Senate over security challenges. Senators tackle Buhari on resolutions, service chiefs. Teachers threaten strike over safety of schools. Meanwhile, the ACF, president's refusal to accept advice worrisome, and the BBOG to president sack security chiefs now. Pages 2 and 4 have more information on that. Meanwhile, the federal government makes NIN mandatory for SIM registration. Over 100 million lines may be blocked after 2 weeks. More on page 2. Soothing talk, music can lower anesthesia pain during surgery, according to a study right at the bottom there. But right at the top, we have this. It says Nigeria secures $3 billion World Bank loan. That's a big one. In order to tackle poverty, COVID-19 impact, and assist vulnerable. That's what we have on the New Telegraph. We have The Guardian here with us right now. And the major headline says, banks sack 7,957 in 9 months. Big number there. It also says here, human capital crisis looms. 42% of contract staff make payroll. Operators grappling with skill inadequacy. Planned competence test not triggered by noticeable gap, according to CBN. And from our record, only one bank retrenched, says NUBIFIE. Let's see what else we have here. It says, 2 die, several injured in Rivers Christmas handout stampede. Senators threaten impeachment. Budget delay to force security action. Reps demand implementation of Safe Schools Declaration. Zamfara closes boarding schools to avert attacks as PDP condemns Buhari's visit to cattle ranch. Right at the bottom here, it says federal government finalizes $2.5 billion loan for gas pipeline project. And it also says the pandemic offers opportunity for critical thinking, Osinbajo tells UK delegation. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian. Moving to the Punch newspaper right now. And it says here, mass abduction. Student recounts near-death experience before escape. Abducted schoolboys divided into batches. Boko Haram claims responsibility. Bandit assisted me to escape, says a JSS student. Zamfara shuts boarding schools. ACF decries federal government's lamentations, says Nigeria not secure under Buhari. Right at the bottom here, it says Nigeria needs security restructuring, not Yoruba presidency, according to Makinde. And I'll wrap it with this. It says, it also says here, education tops as Abdulrazak presents 123.09 billion naira budget to assembly. And that's all we have time for at this point when it comes to the headlines in the dailies. It's about time for us to head to the kitchen. Woo! And we're back on the couch, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
There's so much brewing in the kitchen, and we're going to get there very, very soon.
We can't wait.
But there's loads to talk about first, right?
Yes, there is. So I caught up on this tweet. It actually got my attention. And there is a certain truth in it. Okay, so what the tweet read was, in our society, the gender male is often considered worthless without money.
Without money.
Yes.
So it's not just they're considered worthless.
Without money.
The money part.
Exactly.
Okay. Just clarify.
So they're just men, but without the money, nothing.
So how true is that, though?
Well, let's hear Mary's take on this first before.
Wait, why are you guys putting me on the spot? Okay, so the thing with money and men is, I've always said it, when you put a certain standard to a particular person
or gender,
you will definitely get what you ask for in return. The reason men have been put as, worthless without money is because of what society has pushed out. It's a man's job to provide. It's a woman's job to take care of the home. Many people are changing the narrative today, thankfully. So
we're having stay-at-home dads.
We have stay-at-home dads. We have dads that do more chores than even their wives. Fantastic stuff. We have women bringing in more money, and they're still understanding and respecting the home. So things like that are beginning to thaw. But you see on social media, young ones saying it's not true. And you're like, is it because of your experience growing up or something?
So I actually wanted us to talk about it because of the responses to that tweet. And the responses were ultra savage. So, but then it was a lot of, sadly, men lamenting about how much they've been going through. So if there's one thing I do not like hearing men complain. Look, fine, everybody knows you're going through a lot. Yes, we acknowledge it, but the complaining part, no, it doesn't work.
So you see, Titi, that is the problem. That is actually the problem. We forget that men are human beings. They have emotions just as everyone else.
Absolutely.
And society expects them to be strong, to be manly, to, not cry. Please, cry if you have to. I always tell my husband when I see him sometimes, like, I'm sure there are a lot of things going through his mind, and I'm like, I'm your wife. Like, if there's no one, if there's anyone you can be vulnerable with, it's with me. Do you understand? I'm here to compliment you. I'm here to support you. So we need to, keep pushing that narrative that we as women are here to support our men. I know that there's also that narrative where a man's money is our money, but my money is my money.
We know that, MM. We know that. You said it so many times.
My issue, again, is still the complainants of them all. I'm against you complaining and lamenting without actually getting up to do something about it.
Yeah, but you know that there are people who have different ways of channeling their emotions. So maybe that's just their own way of maybe that person is just his own way of expressing how he really
But
feels.
I mean, what
men
she's
that
saying is
nag so
some
much.
men nag a lot.
That's
Okay, it's the
without
nagging I don't
doing
get.
you don't like the nagging too. Nobody
They're
likes
sounding more like women. Some men are sounding more like women, especially online. They nag and nag and nag, and they say it's the women that nag. See, if you've not done everything, don't complain. If you've done everything,
Yeah, but
and
then-
you've
but then-
put everything on the table, and then the woman sees that you're doing everything, she'll gladly support you.
Yeah, but then I hear you when you say what if he has tried everything? What if everything that he has tried is not everything?
Okay.
Because they say two heads are better than one, right? I mean, and that's why we are here as women, to be there for our men. But I feel that even as women, I know that I am advocating for the men right now.
You're getting a lot of fans right now.
I know, but I also feel that we women also need to, sometimes speak to the men and let's put all our cards on the
Will
table
they
and
listen?
let's talk.
Well, men listen if they feel they can trust you. They listen.
why
You know,
why are
in
you
most
married if you
cases,
cannot trust the
people are
person?
afraid that you're going to use my words against me in future. So that's the reason most men don't say anything. But whatever the case may be, as we've established, the cocoa today is we just want to celebrate men. Thank you
Yeah.
for all you do.
Yeah.
And we love you so much. We appreciate the
Appreciate
good
you.
men out there. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We need to take this break. Of course, Wake Up Nigeria continues. Stay with us.
It's always inspiring listening to Chude. Thank you very much for that inspiration this morning. Welcome to the kitchen. And yes, I'm always so excited when we have a new chef in the building. Welcome to the show. Her name is Chef Ashabi. And this morning she is taking us local. We are making village rice this morning, yeah?
Yeah.
Just in time for Christmas. Who says every time you eat jollof rice? Sometimes let's go local. So let's talk about the ingredients we're working with this morning.
Yeah, we're going to be using our pomo, our fish, pepper, the Maggi, the locust beans,
Seasoning cubes.
seasoning cubes, the locust beans, the crayfish, rice, salt, turkey, our shrimps, our tomato paste, and onions.
Okay, so this jollof rice, this village rice, it's a mix of continental and local.
Yeah.
Because there you have turkey, you have shrimps.
Yeah.
If you are going local, it's just crayfish and panla. We're going to use to prepare the meal. But let's start up with this meal this morning. What's the first thing we need to do to get our village rice ready?
Okay, so we have our palm oil in the pan
Okay.
first, then
Yeah.
we put our locust beans and our onions. Then we let it stir
Okay.
for some minutes. Then we go to our pepper, we pour it.
Okay.
Then from there, the
Pomo.
pomo and the fish.
Okay.
Then stir, put our seasoning cubes. Then let it steam for a little bit.
Okay.
Then pour our, maybe you have chicken stock or anything. Pour it in before we wash our rice and then cook.
Seems like a very easy and simple process. And guess what, people? You don't have to parboil the rice, right?
You don't have to parboil the
Yeah.
rice.
So you just wash it, and once your pepper and tomatoes is ready, you pour it in and you leave it to steam.
Yes.
Now let's get cooking. So first of all, we're going to wash our rice. And if you're just joining us this morning on the show, I have with me Chef Ashabi, and we are making village rice. Yes, I'm super excited about this morning's breakfast, and I hope you are too. Just in case you didn't catch up on the ingredients, let me run through them again. We have iru. We all know that locust beans is very healthy. And we have our seasoning cubes. We have pepper, atarodo, blended one. We have our pomo and panla fish here. We have our salt. We have our turkey. We have our shrimps, crayfish, tin tomatoes, and onions. We all know that onions are very good and, healthy as well. I mean, there's a certain flavor that onions, add to your meal. All right, so while we are setting the tone for the kitchen, we have to move on for some relationship discussion. But before then, Chef Ashabi, so whilst you're, getting our rice, washing it, prepping it up to go on, tell us a little bit about you. What do you, apart from, how is, catering for people in this climb?
Wow. it's hectic, but we are pushing it. But I have other businesses I do to back it up.
Okay.
Because you can't just be in one business in Lagos now.
Yeah,
So,
I understand.
Yeah.
So Chef Ashabi is getting our rice ready, just in case you're wondering what she's doing behind there. She's washing our rice because we need to make sure that our rice is clean and healthy to eat. And I hope you're as excited as I am this morning. All right, great stuff happening here in the kitchen. So locust beans. I love locust beans. It is such, there's this certain aroma and flavor that it adds to your meal.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even need to use your seasoning cube. Just iru and you are fine.
Even if you're going to use your seasoning cube, it's going to be very, very little.
It's going to be very little, right? You don't need to use too much of it, especially if you're using a large quantity of iru, right?
Yes.
Interesting. And guess what? It has amazing properties. It has amazing health benefits, guys. And most of all, it acts as an antioxidant, which helps to, reduce and get rid of those free radicals in your body, and also helps to boost your immune system. So you'll be amazed at the health benefits of locust beans, guys. So it's something that you need to use regularly. Let's begin to appreciate more of our natural herbs and spices when cooking. I'm not saying that completely rules out the seasoning cube, no. I'm just saying that let's use more of our natural herbs and spices more. All right? Great stuff happening here in the kitchen. We have Chef Ashabi. She's getting our rice ready. We are making village rice this morning. And that's it on the kitchen segment for now. We'll be back. But still on, relationship is next. Take it away, Mary.
Thank you very much, MM. It's time for us to talk relationships, as she said. And joining us to do so is Tehila Idowu. So basically today, we're focusing on it's all fun and games till you put a ring on it. Got me thinking of Beyonce. If you like it, you should put a ring on it.
Yeah.
So it's, this is a lady who is renowned as a go-getter and helps people become the best version of themselves. Idowu Tehila, always a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to be here.
Great.
Good morning.
Great. Okay, so let's just hit the ground running.
Yes.
When people hear it's all fun and games until you put a ring on it, people are already like, what are you talking about? So let's start from what you mean so there's no misunderstanding anywhere.
Okay, so have a picture of like the Olympics, okay? Dating, like we established last week, open first and then mutually exclusive. So dating first and then into something more exclusive, just you and I.
Yeah.
Now it's, you see these stages, it's like a game. Look at it more like a competition of some sort. So someone's going to lose, someone's going to win. So maybe your crush is going to lose eventually, and the man who takes you to the altar, or the other way around, is the one who's going to win. But until you get to the altar, guy, you are fair game. Girl, you are fair game. So if she's not doing it for you, if the guy is not doing it for you, like we said last week, you can either swap or ask for a refund. So if someone else shows up,
ask for a refund.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So if someone comes and that person is singing your tune, like a musical instrument,
Spanish
if
guitar
he's
things.
if he's vibing with you, yes, you can just change your mind. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? So, because some people will say, oh, but we've been dating for years, or we've been trying to, like you said last week, we finally found our rhythm, and we are now courting with the hope of getting married. Beautiful. But you see, everyone has their good parts, and everyone has their not so good parts. I'm not going to call them bad parts. So let's liken that to like a choir, because I love music. Okay, so you have people who know how to sing, and you have people who need a little help. Yeah? So the not so good parts are the parts that need a little help, like a musical instrument that needs to be tuned, like a violin or a cello. You need to tune it before you play. Yeah? So if you see that these parts of him, the guy, or this part of her that needs to be tuned?
Stuff you can't cope with.
Can I cope with it? Can I deal with this in 3 years? Can I deal with this in 5 years in marriage? If you cannot tune, if you can't make good music together, then it's advisable that you walk away amicably. Amicably.
So let me bring up different analogies that people are going to be thinking of now. Okay, so analogy 1.
Yes.
We're in a relationship together. I am not happy, and because we are not married, it's easy now for me to, if I find somebody who makes me happy, I can take a walk.
Yes.
2, we are in a relationship together. You don't do the things I like, and we can't seem to understand each other. I can take a walk, right?
Yes.
So these are the scenario you're looking at, isn't it?
Yes. For example, I'm going to refer again to last week's episode where we said in dating, you're getting to know the other person. Okay, so you must have found your flavor, like we said, and see that we vibe together. And then you enter into a mutually exclusive. So if you're in this mutually exclusive relationship and then you find out that he's still not doing it for you, it means that you have tried, you know, all that you know how to, and then it's not working. So
you know what you're going to do for me? We're going to continue this conversation, but we really must take this break. Stay with us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. We're still talking relationship with Ido Taylor, the delectable Ido Taylor. And what we've been focusing on basically has been on knowing when to say goodbye. Like if things aren't working, as long as the ring hasn't been put on it, you have every right to leave. So that's basically what we've been talking about. Now, I want you to tell me when and why I should consider taking a walk, especially if I find someone else, or even for some people, you might not even find someone else before you decide this thing isn't working. So when and why should I?
So you see, a relationship is not like a job where, you know, people advise you have a plan B before you leave your job. You know, I'm sure you heard that before.
Yeah.
You know, so you may not necessarily have a plan B when you decide to move on with your life. I don't want to use the phrase walk away because, you know, that seems rather pessimistic. Yes, so you part ways amicably. Now, there's this thing that happens not just in our climb, but generally where you've been courting for a while, and then you feel obligated.
Yes.
You know, or you feel beholden to continue.
Yeah.
You see, it's not marriage.
Because the whole world knows you both together.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's not marriage yet. That's why it said, you know, each person is fair game until he or she, you know, gets a ring and you're heading to the altar. You know, so don't feel beholden and say, oh, we've been courting for, you know, 3 years, 2 years. You know, I owe it to him or I owe it to her. You know, marriage is for a lifetime.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
what
and you
are
don't
those
want to
things we should
endure
look
it,
out
like we
for?
said. So the things you should look out for, firstly, I would say value systems.
Value system,
Okay,
okay.
so for example, maybe the man, he's a family person. He loves his family. You know, he'll want them to stay over. And you are a private person. You're not a family person. You are a me person. Well, I don't want to say self-centered, but it's all about you are your own universe. You know, you see that there will be clashes, there will be friction. So if you see that your value systems are not aligning,
Even with compromises being made.
yes, you have made compromises, you've spoken about it, and you see that this person is just not budging. This person isn't wired this way. Don't begrudge him, don't begrudge her. They're just not wired that way, and that person is not for you. You can't make good music together. If a musical instrument cannot be tuned, then you cannot use it. Otherwise, you will cause a dissonance, a discord in that musical piece. Okay, so attitudinal issues as well.
Okay.
There are people who are just vindictive by nature.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I want to have my way. It's my
it's
way or the
nobody else's.
highway.
Yeah.
You know, or in Nigerian parlance, I will do my own back. You know, you can't live like that. You can't have a great marriage that way. You know, marriage is about two forgivers.
Yes.
You know, you must be able to lay down the sword and say, you know what,
I'm done.
I give in.
It's okay.
You win. I will take the fall this time. You don't always have to take the fall, but I will take the fall this time, you know, for the sake of peace.
It's a good thing that you've defined these things so we understand when and why. She did not mention because he doesn't have money.
No, 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 no.
But really, thank you so much for your time, Tehila.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Ido Tehila is a fantastic relationship expert. And it's about time for us to have some music. You remember how she kept going on and on about tunes and our love for music? Well, for our musical performance, we have Dr. Kolade Tolulope Alade, also known as Collie D, a singer, songwriter, composer, recording artist, and performer. And he will be performing the song, Maria, Maria. Seems like the song is for me. You take it away.
All right, Collie D. That was amazing. Thank you so much. So we do not only give you good music, we also give you good food. And with me in the kitchen this morning is Chef Ashabi. Hello.
Hi.
The lady in red. All right, so this morning, guys, we are making village rice. Yes. And tell us about the ingredients and how far we've gone with our meal.
Okay, now our fish, pomo, iru, onion, pepper, a whole in. So I like to put my pomo and my fish so as to let it sink in.
Get all that flavor
from, yeah.
Nice.
So now we're going to be putting our crayfish and our seasoning cube.
All right. So just in case you didn't catch up on the ingredients, I'll run through them again. Okay, so first of all, we have atarudu blended pepper. We have onions. We have pomo. We have crayfish. We have bala. We have locust beans, seasoning cubes, salt, shrimps, blended tomatoes, and then the main ingredients, which is our rice, which will be, putting in once our tomato sauce is ready, right?
Yes.
Great. So at what point does the shrimp go in?
Because it's, what's it called? It's fresh, so I might have to put it last.
Oh, okay.
Maybe when the rice is about to
Because we don't want it soggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I understand. I completely understand. And then our turkey, we're supposed to fry that, yes?
Yes.
Okay, let me bring this forward.
Thank you.
So then we can start, getting that ready. And if you noticed, I know, I keep talking about locust beans. That's because I'm a lover. I love locust beans. Yes, so if you notice, we put that already in the tomato sauce so that we can get all that flavor into the fish and the pomo and let all that season in. Get it looking, it actually smells really, really nice. I'm loving the aroma. Nice.
Thank you.
This village rice went to Harvard, guys. This one went to Harvard. It's a special kind. Yeah, but just in case you don't want to use chicken or beef or turkey, I'm sure just banla and pomo should do, right?
Yeah.
It still gives it that local feel. Yeah. And then shrimps, not compulsory. But then there are this big crayfish.
Yes.
Those, they actually look like roasted shrimps.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could also use that as well. I'm sure they have a certain kind of seasoning.
Taste.
Yeah. That they give to your meal, which also works. All right. So we're going to wait for our tomatoes to get ready. Chef Ashabi certainly knows what she's doing here in this kitchen. Ha. She's about to, pepper us. All right, guys. Our meal is getting ready. Of course, there's still so much more on the show. You want to stay tuned. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
Welcome back. It's time for the second hour of the most exciting breakfast show on the planet. Yes, the first hour just went by in a flash, and we ladies have had a blast.
That's right. We have the remaining 45 minutes to continue to put a smile on your faces. And that 1,000-meter smile, it gladdens our hearts. And we the ladies are definitely excited because there is still a lot more to come on the very best breakfast show on television.
is making a difference in that kitchen. I'm telling you, she's like glamming the place up like never before. Hey, girl.
It's food you're supposed to be cooking.
But this food definitely makes me happy. And Chef Ashabi, this lady thinks she can, the magic she's working in this kitchen, guys. You don't know. You don't know.
Food makes us happy.
It does.
And
gives
it's
us
all
joy.
about making a difference this week. We started with the Mad Monday. Making a difference Monday. We're trying to make a difference, especially since it's Christmas week already. We have another 45 minutes going. So swell, so far, so good. And we're going to be having the right mix properly stirred right here to get your attention. Just like, that mocktail that we are going to be preparing sometime soon.
And talking about stirring, I can't get enough of whatever is going on in the kitchen. The aroma in here is amazing. And we can't wait to find out what the end of it will be. But straight to the highlights. Of course, the show goes on and it only gets better and better. My name is Mary Bashua Alimi.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. We have quite a bit still to come. Remember, you can use our hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC across all social media platforms. Can't wait to see your questions and contributions. And you can be part of the show.
Yeah, you can also watch us live from absolutely anywhere across the world. And that's through our mobile app that you can download from the Google Play Store, iOS. Now for what's left on the show, huh?
Nutrition. Last week, this lady created a stir online. I'm talking about Chioma Okonkwo, popularly known as the Fruit Nurse. A lot of people are looking forward to seeing the fruit nurse one more time. She's a certified neuropath and health educator, and she'll be talking about the healing power of fruit therapy.
And finally, we will be joined by one of the most famous faces on Nigerian television. She has been around for quite a while and has featured in more than 70 movies. We're so excited to have Gloria Young with us. Mother-in-law drama.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's always great to celebrate our own. You know, it's great. It's going to be great to have her. Speaking of celebrating our own, the amazing Naomi Campbell has been celebrating Wizkid online.
You just want to give.
Yes, it's trending.
You must stop
trending.
this.
So, you know, I've been watching Naomi Campbell since the days of Liberian Girl.
Oh, yeah, I now understand why you're into her. You also went into modeling at some point.
That girl can strut. If you see her strutting the runway, you know it's Naomi. And she has this YouTube interview thing she's doing, and she had Wizkid online, and she's like, you know, he's so generous, you know, and whenever he comes out for events, you know, he's always has his hands full with loads of money. He's always giving and giving, and she's like celebrating and saying, I'm like, okay, let's go.
I know that you actually, there were some hidden innuendos.
No, I'm not.
You're just not fishing out for them yet. But we all know that Naomi Campbell has been a big fan of Wizkid.
Yeah.
You know, since their walk sometime in Paris was a fashion week, and then they walked the red carpet, the runway together. Yeah. And since then, she's been gushing over him. So it's really not a surprise.
Are you sure it's not the other way around now? Because are you sure it's not Wizkid gushing over her? Because this is Naomi we're talking about.
Nice
let's as the slang goes, let's dead this thing, because before you know it now, they'll say he's into older women. He hasn't finished living down the old Tiwa Savage drama, which I still believe never happened.
Which I also believe that it never happened. I think it was just a PR stunt.
Exactly.
I think it was a PR stunt.
And then people are like taking this whole Tiwa and Wizkid thing to another level. Like,
but that video they did together, Sha.
People do steamy videos together.
That video was, the chemistry was strong.
But even chemistry was there between Fowls and Simi.
Do you really want to go there? Do you want to go there?
There will always be chemistry.
A big shout out to Naomi. We're huge fans. You just can't knock Naomi. You cannot. She's just too hot. And thank you for celebrating Wizkid for us.
Wow.
Thank you.
All right. I believe that's about it for now. We take this weather update and, of course, the news after. Stay with us.
Welcome back. It's time for the news update. Now, bothered about the situation in neighboring Katsina State, Zamfara State government has ordered the immediate closure of all schools bordering Katsina and Sokoto states. The move, according to the government, is to avert any security breach in the affected areas. It says the decision to close the schools became necessary following the recent abduction of over 300 schoolboys in Kankara, Katsina State. The government has assured parents and guardians of its commitment to protecting all schools across the state. The Kaduna State government has ordered the closure of schools across 23 local government areas of the state. According to the State Commissioner for Education, Dr. Shehu Makarfi, this follows an upsurge of the COVID-19 in the state. Now, a government-issued statement directs all schools in the state to close on Wednesday. The commissioner says the measure was taken to curb the spread of COVID-19 pandemic as a result of the second wave in the state. The Supreme Court says its attention has been drawn to a newspaper report currently circulating alleging that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Tanko Mohammed, is seriously ill and is not attending public functions for the same reason. A statement signed by Dr. Festus Akonde, Director of Press and Information, Supreme Court of Nigeria, says there's no iota of truth in the claim being peddled by the publication, as there hasn't been any indication made public or otherwise that has shown any anxiety over the Chief Justice's health. It adds, and I quote, "We are still at a loss as to where the reporter got that malicious information from, as the Chief Justice has been very active and even presided over the swearing-in of the newly appointed justices of Supreme Court a few weeks back." The Supreme court maintains that the Chief Justice being unavoidably absent at the function is not enough to draw a conclusion that there's anxiety over his health. 3 Nigerian entertainers arrested in Uganda for allegedly flouting COVID-19 guidelines shortly after their performance at a concert in Kampala have now arrived at the Nigerian mission after the charges against them were dropped. Stanley Didia, also known as Omale, Timilade Okweni, also known as Thames, and her manager Muiwa Awuni were arrested and detained in Uganda on Saturday. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, had assured Nigerians that the Nigerian artists would be home soon. She said that the Ministry for Foreign Affairs and the Nigerian mission in Uganda, along with their Ugandan counterparts, had achieved a diplomatic resolution of the matter. Mrs. Dabiri Erewa was optimistic that the federal government, speedy intervention, would reunite them with their families and fans soonest. The arrest of the Nigerian musicians in Uganda had triggered public outrage among Nigerians on social media. They say the action by Ugandan authorities was targeted at embarrassing Nigeria, since the concert was duly publicized and the artists granted permission to come into the country for the concert. And that's all we have time for on the news for this morning. We have to hand it over now to Mary for sports.
Welcome back. You're still village rice. Yes, not every time jollof rice. Sometimes let's go local. But this kind of local is a very special kind. It's a continental dish. All right, so Chef Ashabi, where are we at?
We are almost done. It's just for us to put the shrimp.
Yeah, so let's remind our viewers how we started, the ingredients we worked with, and so far.
We have our palm oil, our fish, our crayfish, our pomo, our locust beans, iru, and of course our shrimps and pepper.
Yes, and let's talk them through the process, because some people are just joining us and they do not have an idea of what we've done so far.
Okay, so first of all, we put our palm oil, let it bleach a little bit, then we had our iru and onion, and our pepper, then our fish and pomo, then let it stay for a little bit, then we had our crayfish, then wash our rice, and of course put it in. So would suggest parboiling your rice if you can. Yes.
Okay.
You can parboil your
If
rice,
you want
but
to.
I don't usually parboil my rice.
Okay. All right.
For village rice.
Okay. All right. And then with this one, you don't use bay leaf,
No,
as
at
opposed
all.
to jollof rice. Yeah. And then what actually brings out that village local flavor is the iru.
Yes.
Yes. Great stuff. And of course, our turkey is frying. That's why I said this dish is somewhat continental, not all local. So our turkey is getting ready.
Yeah.
Our rice is almost done. Not yet, but it's getting there. As you can see, it looks spectacular. It looks delicious. I can't wait to eat it. And then, of course, we're going to toss in our shrimps later on. Are you going to do that now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we're going to pour in our shrimps. Look at that. Oh. But hey, guys, have fun when, making this meal. You don't have to, copy and paste what we have done here. You can work with whatever you can afford, guys. But what's most important is, still getting that local village feel from your rice, So you don't have to use tin tomatoes, blended tomatoes, right?
You don't have
You can
to.
just use your blended tomatoes and pepper that the fresh ones. You blend them, your palm oil, your panla. Panlas are so affordable. I love that fish so much. As in, I love panla so much. Yeah. So you could actually use that. You could use roasted fish, roasted Titus fish, yeah. So our rice is almost ready. Looking good, guys. Looking good. What do you think? All right. Great stuff happening here on the show. Next up, we have our fruit tea nurse. She's with us, and she's with Titi on the couch.
Yes, indeed. Now, this is a segment a lot have been waiting for. Last week, we got amazing responses online because of the segment we had with the one and only Chioma Okonkwo, popularly known as the Fruit Nurse. Now, she's a registered certified neuropath, and she is a health educator. And when it comes to consulting on fruits, oh, goodness me, you're going to learn something here today. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we're talking fruit teas this morning. And I know teas, generally, all over the world, you know, they've always been known to have many health benefits. But you seem to have broken it down into segments. So what sort of fruit teas are we talking about?
Okay, fruits generally are good, but then, you know, when it comes to tea, people feel it's just the Bonvita or the Milo or just the green tea. But people are not aware that you can actually make tea from the same fruits that we take. And the book was inspired by a lot of people who could actually not afford the green tea or, let's say, supplements, you understand. So fruit is just about using the unique properties of leaves from fruits, the fruit itself, or the seed in making healthy teas, both for curative purpose and also for preventive purposes.
Okay, so you mentioned curative. I think you mentioned in the book also that there are 3 types.
Yeah, we have 3 categories of fruit tea in the book. We have the organ cleanse, we have the curative teas, then we have the maintenance tea. So tea you can actually use for
all right, so I would love to hear a curative tea, a fruit that is good for curing different ailments. Talk to us about one.
Okay, there are so many in the book, but I realize that a lot of Lagosians have this issue with insomnia, like lack of sleep. And for example, for every one medication, I said it's on the last show, for every one medication, there are 10 or more side effects. So why go for that, where you can actually get something from nature? So banana tea is a very, very good tea for curing insomnia.
Okay, when you say banana tea, you're talking about banana that we eat fresh, right?
Yes.
Or are you talking about plantain?
The banana we eat fresh, the back of it. So when you eat your banana, you don't throw away the back.
You don't throw away the skin?
Yeah, you don't throw away the skin.
What do we do with it?
You boil it.
Wow.
Yeah, banana also helps in increasing the melatonin level in the body, which assists us in sleeping well. So a lot of people, a lot of my patients and clients that have been on sleeping pill causing them side effects, when they come to me and they're like, oh, they don't want to be on this pill anymore. Is there any alternative that they can actually use for sleeping? And I tell them banana tea is good. And trust me, the reviews have been wonderful.
Okay, so do you want to give us what else you put inside this tea? Is it just banana
okay,
skins?
there are actually 2 ways you can make it. For people who don't have ulcer, you can add ginger, and cinnamon. Cinnamon too, they are very, very good for sleep. So you can add the banana, the cinnamon, and then the ginger. But for people who have ulcer, because we advise them to stay away from things that are so spicy like ginger, they can just do banana and cinnamon. But then the banana alone, it's a good. It's
Am I boiling it for hours or just for like
just 10 minutes? You boil it for 10 minutes, then you leave it to cool for like extra 10 minutes.
And then obviously
you take warm.
The liquid is what
you take the liquid.
You discard the skin.
You discard the skin. You can put it in fridge, but I prefer you take it warm. So that it can increase blood flow at night. You can take it cool in the morning, or you can take it very warm at night.
I was reading about one particular tea you said was good for people that have breathing issues. Which tea was that?
That's the long cleanse tea.
Long cleanse tea. So what goes into that?
Your onion.
Onions?
Yes.
Okay.
Your onions are super, super. It contains, onion, garlic, and fennel. They contain allicin, they contain sulfur. They also contain a lot of antioxidants that have been researched and scientifically proven to help the lungs and also help to dilate the bronchos. And they are super great for people suffering from asthma, people suffering from lung problem, especially for smokers that are liable to lung cancer. So you can either use it for tea or you can use it as steam inhalation If you want to use it for tea, all you just need to do is cut it into pieces.
That's onion.
Yeah, the onion.
Okay.
You can add garlic.
Okay.
Then honey.
Okay.
You make it as tea. That one you boil it for 6 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Then you allow it to cool for like 5 minutes. That's a total time of 12 minutes.
Okay.
Then you drink morning, afternoon, and night for 30 days.
And this will help to clean the lungs?
Yes, it
All
helps
right.
to clean the lung. It also helps to relax the bronchioles.
Wow.
Okay, yes. And also help for detoxification of the lung, removal of toxins and other things that can actually cause any issue that has to do with the breathing issue.
Okay. So you said curative. You also said there was another. You said there was curative teas.
Organ cleanse.
Organ cleanse. Yeah.
Then
so that's the
supportive
long
tea.
one.
Yeah.
And then.
Supportive teas. Any
Okay.
tea you can always do anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take one of those.
Okay, we have the iced date tea, the regular date that we have. Okay, so you can make it as tea, but I prefer it when you take it after exercise because it contains a lot of electrolytes. You know, when you exercise, you lose minerals, you lose sweat, you lose water. So that can also rehydrate you.
Okay.
You get. So all you need is just the date and coconut water. Sometimes you can also use sea salt. Sea salt is another very, very wonderful salt that I prefer people to use instead of the regular table salt because of the minerals it contains.
Okay.
So all you need to do, you can get like 6 to 10 seed of the dates.
Okay.
You soak, you blend, then you add just 1 lemon.
Oh.
It's either you add lemon or you add 2 small limes.
Okay.
Okay. Then you add your ice. You can boil them, but I prefer, you don't need to boil them. All you just have to do is put it in the cup, you add your ice, add water, and then you drink immediately after exercise. You can also drink it when the weather is super hot.
All right. Now, so I have to, go into how you started all this. We mentioned quite a bit about that before. But when you were learning about it, what made you, go further into this particular field?
Okay, is it the fruit tea?
Fruit teas, yes, fruit teas.
Okay, so I had a lot of clients come to me with a lot of health issues. And then when I charge them or tell them to get a particular supplement, they keep on saying, I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money. And then I realized that, man, I'm not just called for those who have the money. So I have to find a way to actually close the bridge. So that was how I started researching about fruit teas. And then I realized that this thing has been there for over years, but people are not making use of them. Then I started with the orange peel tea, you understand, which is very, very good for colon cleansing.
Okay.
So when people came back with a lot of testimony, and I began to ask myself, so where have this thing been? Like, why are people not talking about it? So I started researching on more fruits that we can use as tea. So it's basically the people who actually inspired me to write this book are people who could not actually afford the supplement or some teas that are very expensive. And this thing, you can easily get them on the street, anywhere. So, and you to still give you the same or even more health benefit than the regular supplement we have.
Okay, so before we round up, I want to ask about any testimony from one of the really, really terrible diseases that you've heard about.
Fruit tea might not be able to address a particular disease. It actually requires you to also eat healthy.
Okay.
But then I've had a lot of people who had migraine. In fact, I had a woman who had migraine for like 20 years. It's on my Instagram page.
Wow.
And then when...
Finally, we have been joined by one of the most famous faces on Nigerian television. She has been around for quite a while and has featured in more than, 70 movies?
In fact, we're so excited to have her here. She's what we like to call a veteran in the industry. Yeah. And she's decided to grace us with her presence this morning, the one and only Gloria Young.
The amazing.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It does look like the last name you took is having an effect on you because you refuse to age. You want to make sure that young stays.
Okay,
ever,
I guess.
Ever.
My spirit man, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, it's been so long. So the first time I ever saw you on screen was Glamour Girls. That was like forever ago. So I've just told everybody my own age now. But it was...
So you should imagine my own.
Exactly.
I know your age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, you got it.
That was one of the movies that actually made me, take an interest in Nollywood films, and then, of course, the story behind it. And since then, there's been so much growth to the industry. Why not give us a little peep into how your journey has been from your perspective?
From my perspective, okay, concerning the movie industry, I started from behind the camera. I just was producing the Charlie Boy show. I was helping writing out the scripts and stuff like that, making sure the program gets to NTA as at that time on time, because you need like 2 or 3 days for them to watch it and vet it before they put it on air. And it was a heavy task just to get everyone to come on the show and do what they're supposed to do. So one day I just got fed up. It was a Wednesday night, I think, and Thursdays is usually the day we send the program over to NTA. And our programs, stuff wasn't complete. We couldn't go to the studio to edit. Wow. And so I just said, wait till they do stuff. I beg, turn that camera face here, you know. This is not the news. And that's how I started. Beautiful. And that's how my colleagues got to see it on television and came to invite me to the Glamour Girls, yes. And that's how we started.
You know, it's often said that a producer can present in most cases, while most presenters can't produce. So it's a good thing that you started from your journalism background, because that seems to have really aided your ability to really maximize your scripts and all.
Exactly.
But then, of course, in the course of your being in the industry, love found you. And
I knew you were good.
You recently celebrated 18 years of marriage.
How did you know that?
I'm supposed to know. That's my job.
Yeah, journalist.
Yeah, you got married in 2002, and it's a thing that when people talk about marriages among celebrities, there's always that countdown to divorce. Like they're waiting for it to end. You see a lot of people, any small tiff which is normal between couples is blown up and all. But how have you been able to maintain that privacy, one, and to still stay together with your husband for so long?
I think because we're friends. Oh, we go through the quarrel gamut. We go through it all. We quarrel. In fact, we enjoy the quarrel. We enjoy arguing, and even if we can't find something, we'll always look for something to argue. Politics, whatever, home, whatever. But there are 1 or 2 things that we've always agreed on, and that is how we feel about certain things. We even agree to disagree most times, you know, just for peace. You hear something like, my wife is a witch, don't try her, that kind of thing. So I guess maybe he also has a lot to do with it. Of course, he's much older than I am. Well, much older, being less than 10 years, older than I am. But he understands, and because of his maturity, you know, and my playfulness, I guess that works, you know. And then he always makes me laugh. That was something else. You know, these little things are what people don't seem to understand. You know, you're in a marriage. And as the female, you have your role to play. You must play your role. As the male, you must play your role. And then you must complement each other somehow. And that's how it's been working for us.
It's funny you would mention complementing. Because these days there's a lot of new Nollywood, old Nollywood thing going on. A recent interview of yours, you mentioned that you don't see any difference between new Nollywood and you see it as continuous.
I don't know. Where did that come from?
I really want to know what your opinion is on Nollywood today.
Yes, Nollywood has grown in leaps and bounds. Surprisingly, considering the kind of terrain we're in, for the fact that we're able to, you know, score, you know, climb those mountains. It's really been wonderful. And this idea about new and old Hollywood really doesn't make sense to me, because you come into the industry, you met some people there. So will I say that I am semi-old industry? I met people there. So when did I become old Nollywood, and then those ones coming in became new Nollywood? But I think it has something to do with the kind of social media we have now. When we started, we didn't even have GSM. There wasn't anything like that. You understand? It was just the television, and what NTA and AIT, I think that's when, you know, we started. In fact, it was AIT there. I don't think AIT was there. But it was just NTA. And we didn't have the kinds of things that we have now. And so a lot of people who have come in have been helped by their platforms on social media. Whereas those of us we just had to work hard at it somehow and get noticed. Then there were very few of us. You understand? And a lot of us say the sky is the limit. I mean, the sky is too big. There's so many of us who the sky can take. And so as much as they come in, as more and more people come in, the sky is big enough for them. Then again, old Nollywood. Some of us are finding it difficult. We're still not understanding what social media can do for us. You get, somebody like my husband, they send him a message and they say, oh, we would like you on TVC, for instance. And then they send him one of those,
banners,
e-flyers, they call them, or something like that. He will not use it. He will be like, okay, what else I can do? I'm like,
why did they send it
up on your wall? And he says, so for what? You understand? Whereas the new ones, immediately, they want the e-flyer. They want to tell people. They want to,
exactly.
ready to go. So I guess maybe that's where it is. But we're catching up. Those of us who call the old Nollywood, we're catching up.
But I have to say that Gloria Young and Norbert Young were trending before trending existed.
Yes.
So hey, there's trending and there's trending.
Yes.
It's amazing having you here. Now, I know that we have a clip or two to show. Let's see.
I want to tease you by saying that's Gloria Young in a new school. Well, this new school, old school thing also brings me to all the remakes going on now. Rattlesnake is in US. Your husband is in Rattlesnake as well. And
my daughter is in Rattlesnake.
As well. Wow. How did you miss that?
That's because we haven't made noise about it.
You see what we're saying about old Nollywood who don't use social media. Okay, so now Glamour Girls, which brought you, made you popular. What if there is to be a remake about it? What do you think of all these remakes anyway?
Well, there is going to be a remake of Glamour Girls.
Woo! You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
But I think they've already started talking about it.
We haven't heard about it.
Surprisingly, Play Network has started auditioning people for it. I was told about it. I was, in fact, giving so much advance notice, I didn't know what to do. In fact, I had to do a short skit with Nengi. And I don't know when they're going to use it, but definitely they've started talking about it. That Glamour Girls is going to be remade. And then what I think about it, I think it's beautiful. Because we have the social media now. We didn't have it then. And then there were so many wonderful stories that didn't get to be seen. They were told, but they were not seen. A lot of those things on celluloid, on 35mm, and all of that, people didn't get to see it. So it's time for them now. Of course, naturally, you must rewrite your story.
Right there.
You must add your story.
Okay.
Glamour Girls.
Goodness.
My gosh. Yes, for those wondering, that person on the left looks like Shola Fosudo. Yes, that's him.
And it is.
When he was much younger.
And Liz Benson, yes.
Yes, Liz Benson.
Yeah.
Goodness me. What a clip. Amazing.
I feel like a child just watching this again.
It makes you appreciate how far the industry has come.
Sure.
And I appreciate the fact that our kids can actually see these stories and appreciate them as well. But we have to invite you to our kitchen now. We have something for you to taste.
Breakfast, that's what it is.
We're not big enough.
Please join us.
What I'm interested in, which we'll talk about after the show, is your beauty regimen. I don't know how you manage to say it.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the kitchen.
Thank you.
Please have a seat.
Okay, right here?
Okay,
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Okay.
All right, so here's Chef Ashabi.
Hello,
and
Chef.
this morning, she's made village rice for you to enjoy.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's such a pleasure to have you with us this morning.
All right, please go ahead, dig in,
It
tell
was
us what you think.
smelling really nice as I walked into the studio. This is the one we call rice and tiki.
Rice and
Hard, native rice,
All right.
And so we expect it to be as good as it smells.
Wow.
And it is, obviously.
Wow.
Babe, try it. Babe, you try.
She got it.
I see the shrimp. I must have a bite.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad you enjoyed the meal. Chef Ashabi, you can find her on Instagram at Ashabi_locals.
Yes.
ASABI. not without the
Locals
H.
is in the name.
Yes.
Wow.
Let's tell you that she's local.
Let's go. Let's
Nice.
go.
Thank you so much. We
Yeah.
must say a very big thank you to everyone who
Yeah.
has been a part of the show today. A very big thank you to our contributors. And of course, to the delectable Gloria Anozie Young. Yes, we still remember the Anozie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
of course, to you, thank you so much for watching.
It's been a Wonder Woman Wednesday today.
Yes,
Women
it has.
everywhere. We're going to be back tomorrow from 7 a.m., y'all. Bye.